If you walk or drive around Westport, a little village perched on the edge of Lake Champlain in Essex County, you might notice some new additions to the landscape. This summer, 12 larger-than-life Westport chairs were placed around downtown, decorated by local artists. Westport chairs are considered the predecessor to the more famous Adirondack chair. But they're not just there for quality of life. They help get traffic to slow down. We find out how on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Claxton Hepburn Medical Center, dedicated to providing patient care and regional services to the people of St. Lawrence County. claxtonhepburn.org.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Thursday, October 17th. First up, the North Country needs more services for people with mental illness. Officials say a big goal is to keep those people out of the hospital to help reduce the strain on those facilities. A new program in Plattsburgh seeks to do that by giving people a safe place to recover from crisis and connect to services like housing and primary care. Kara Chapman has more.
Courtney Soulier takes me through the bottom floor of a small house.
So the house is full ADA compliant. As you enter, there is laundry on site, a kitchen where we provide 3 meals a day, family-style dining for everyone to sit together and enjoy a meal.
It's really tidy in here. There's fresh fruit and vegetables, an organized spice rack, a meal schedule on the fridge. We walk past the kitchen to 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. There's fun art on the walls, and one bed has a teddy bear resting on the pillow. This house is for kids who are recovering from a mental health crisis. Soulier says they're monitored 24/7, and the goal is to give them a home-like environment.
We're here to support, we're here to help, we're here to nurture, we're here to grow.
It's part of a new crisis residence program that's now offered by Behavioral Health Services North, or BHSN. This children's house, which has 4 beds, opened last November, while a 6-bed adult house opened last month. Soulier oversees these residences for BHSN. She says they're for people who don't need to be in the hospital, but also need supports in place as they recover.
So if someone doesn't meet criteria for hospital admission, or if they've been in a long-term, high level of care setting, they can come have support and services through BHSN as they transition back into their home setting.
Soulier says people can stay here for up to 28 days. Between November and last month, BHSN received about 150 referrals, mostly for children. Liz Cole is the not-for-profit's vice president of clinical operations. She says the program fills a particular role in the community.
And that really is to make sure that we're keeping people out of the hospital or transitioning them to stable living.
Cole says the process of opening these residences took several years. Dr. Joanne Astle says in that time, the number of people with mental health needs has increased. She's a psychiatrist who works at BHSN and Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital in Plattsburgh.
You know, we're struggling with social determinants of health. We're struggling with providing for people, and this will be a great service to be able to put in place of some of those gaps to help give us time to service those people in the way that is most helpful.
A couple dozen people joined BHSN for a ribbon cutting at the Adult Crisis House last month. There were law enforcement, behavioral health officials, politicians, all partners on this new initiative. Soulier says these homes have been a long time coming, but there's a lot more work ahead to meet the community's needs. She says a big part of that is making sure there are more resources for people as they transition out of the crisis homes.
So we can have 28 days to help someone gain access to sustainable housing and access to their basic needs and access to primary care, but we need those supports in our community to increase their availability as well so that we can make those referrals and we can help people move towards stability.
Soulier says there are plans to open more crisis houses. She says people can get referred to them by their healthcare providers or they can self-refer through BHSN's mobile crisis team. Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio, Plattsburgh.
So these Westport chairs, the precursor to the Adirondack chair, they're all over the village of Westport, decorated by local artists. It's an art project, but it's also a traffic-slowing tactic. It was created by the Safe Roads Task Force of the Westport-Wadhams Community Alliance. Amy Feiereisel spoke with member Jen Williams about the new Westport Chair Trail.
The Westport chair is the granddaddy of the Adirondack chair. So this is built off of the original patent of the 1904 Westport chair, which was, of course, created here in Westport. It has a more pronounced slant when you get into it. It's not meant for leisurely lounging all day. It is certainly a piece where you can really get into it, but you're not going to take a nap or curl up into it. These ones are 30% larger than the original Westport chair, intended to really be a statement piece, invite people to sit in it. And when you do sit in it, you feel like a little kid again. It invites you to sit with your feet back and watch the world go by. We are in the hubbub and heart of the village, which is Main Street, Westport. You can hear there's a lot of traffic right now. You can hear some engine brakes and backing up. And at the heart of the Westport Chair Trail is also another mission of being able to not just encourage people to walk, but to really slow down and for the vehicles to slow down and know that this is a village area where people are out walking.
And so part of the original idea was, let's put these chairs out that are visually interesting and a little bigger than life to actually get traffic to slow down.
Yes, and we want them to make sure that they are driving safely and yielding to pedestrians at the crosswalk and hopefully sitting and enjoying some local art in this beautiful place that we are so lucky to call home. We have some incredibly passionate artists, and again, these are place-based, but they're also not just honoring the land and the cultural history, but also honoring some of our local passions. Like the one at the motel has a great blue heron, and there's the New York State fish on it underneath. You can find it there. It's a little surprise and delight for guests and for also fishermen who love to see it. Up the road, there's a gentleman that painted a cow on his, remembering growing up and coming here in the summers and seeing the local dairy farm. So he wanted to honor the cows of Westport. Then we also have another incredibly talented artist named Jasmine, who has also dabbled in painting vehicles for Demolition Derby. So there's also a Demolition Derby inspired chair that is like spray painted and funky and modern. And we had an amazing local craftsman, Tom Fettigan, build each and every one of these. And we fundraised for that starting in December. And he had them all done and in the hands of the artists by March so that they could work for a couple months and get them all ready for the grand opening in May.
So this is the first year.
This has been an incredible community-driven labor of love with so many people. We had over 20 donors. We had, like I said, a dozen chairs, which means land hosts. We have people who are volunteering their barn space to store them in the winter. These artists that came up with these incredible concepts and came to the table with their own paint and their many, many, many hours, plus calling on people to deliver them. They do not fit through doors. They also need a truck to transport.
And has it done what you hoped it would in this first summer in terms of sort of slowing traffic down a little?
Well, I'm going to be doing a survey to really be able to get people's feedback. I've heard some incredible anecdotal information, and the really challenging part is measuring near misses is really complicated. What I have heard resoundingly from people, especially in this little Main Street district, is it's working. And this is part of the cultural awareness aspect of it. And there's another aspect of the task force, which is really about policy, infrastructure, enforcement. So while I get to do the fun, creative artwork, it's also really in tandem with making more structural changes in collaboration with our good friends at the town of Westport, with the Department of Transportation, and then also with the state. So there's many layers to achieving having a more walkable, pedestrian-friendly community, and this is just the start. It's a slow and a long road, but we're in it for the long haul.
That was Jen Williams from the Westport Wadhams Community Alliance speaking with Amy Feiereisel about the new Westport Chair Trail. You can find a map of that trail on our website, ncpr.org. The chairs will be out until the end of this month, and then they'll be back again next summer. Help pay for local news and culture coverage like this by donating during our fall fundraiser. It's happening right now. Give what you can, $5 or $10 a month, or maybe a single-time $100 donation, or $25, even $10, whatever you can do to keep local news strong. Go to ncpr.org/give to make that donation. Every dollar makes a difference. Thank you so much. Music today by Alan Dunham of South Glens Falls and Oscar Sarmiento of Potsdam. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.